But when you realize how fragile life is and how temporary things can be in life, it's when you start to realize that we're not going to get this moment back again. So why don't we just focus on the present rather than harping or ruminating on the past or interpreting things that we may have been offended about in the past? Does it really matter now? Hello and welcome back. So we're into the final week of Mindful in May. So how lovely is it been to spend this time together and to hear so much from you over the last few weeks? Now, I just want to share with you, I'll tell you more at the end of this episode, but currently the Total Somatics membership doors are now open. So they're going to be open just for a few days. So if you've been thinking about coming along, please do, because they'll only open for a few days and then I close the membership doors because I'm fully focused on taking care of everybody within the Total Somatics online membership. So I'll share more with you at the end about that. However, let's discuss this week. So in week 4 for Mindful in May, we're going to be looking at how we want to develop mindfulness as a daily ritual rather than it being a task or a chore, basically. So true total somatic mindfulness is where we integrate it into our daily activities, into our daily life. So it's not an add-on, it's an integrated practice. That's what I discuss a lot within the Total Somatics online membership, is how it becomes more of a lifestyle rather than it being a task or a chore. So it's a mindset shift. We can either think of something as a task or we can integrate it and it becomes part of our lifestyle. And that's where the power lies. That's when it really does become a true embodiment practice. So total somatic mindfulness, the rituals that we create here are to create that feeling of safety. And also what it does is it helps create the familiar patterns for your nervous system so that it allows your nervous system to become regulated. Do you remember we've discussed previously this uncertainty, this overwhelm, the unsafety that you feel within your body? All of that can be regulated when we have a total somatic mindful practice. And that includes looking at our movement, our headspace for our mindset, and also our mindfulness practices, things that we've been discovering over the last few weeks. The key thing for this to become integrated or part of our lifestyle is that when it becomes small, consistent habits, it has a greater impact than when we try and be intense with our effort and we're trying to be forceful and push through it. Again, this is where we shift that perfectionism or that having it just right mindset out the way. And we understand that we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have curveballs. There's going to be times where we figuratively like fall off the wagon and we might have not done anything for weeks, because that's what happens if it's sickness, if it's life issues, all sorts of things. The key thing is, though, identifying or being mindful that we've had that situation, we've come out of it, we've started to recover if it's been a health crisis or whatever the situation is. But now we can start to bring this integrated total somatic practice back into our lifestyle. So that's where we're, again, kind, we're nurturing, we're non-judgmental. We just know life happens, things happen. And it's how we then get back into creating this lifestyle that's going to be really more of a comforting, nurturing, empowering practice for us. So again, mindfulness becomes a way of being, not doing. I mean, after all, the expression that we're human beings, not human doings, tells us something, doesn't it? We are being and savoring and doing things. I'm bringing the word doing there, but we are being in the moment, aren't we? We are embracing the moment. So human beings, we are being, just wanting to be mindful of what is happening. I mentioned before, but it's really profound when things happen in your life and it makes you reassess. And I'm sure we've all been there. But when you realize how fragile life is and how temporary things can be in life, it's when you start to realize that we're not going to get this moment back again. So why don't we just focus on the present rather than harping or ruminating on the past or interpreting things that we may have been offended about in the past? Does it really matter now? Because that was then. And do you remember I've mentioned previously, we can repattern now and change the present for our future self. And because of that, it's so important that we look at our priorities and take care of who we are and those around us now, and embrace this moment, because we won't get this time back. We won't get this day back. So it's enjoying everything we can at this moment, savoring this moment, and just being in this moment. And so somatic rituals reconnect our mind and body throughout the day. And that's why I mentioned about rituals. It's really important that we have that, because that really starts to create that grounding, that calming, and that centering for our nervous system. But really, what I want to share with you, and I'm going to share with you some mindfulness tasks in a moment, is how we can delve deeper. So I'm going to show you some takeaway cues, some 5 cues. But I would encourage you that if you really want to step forward and start to shift the state of your nervous system and how that translates into releasing these layers that are held in by us through trauma, through habits and rituals and pain and all sorts of things that have just layered in over the time, I'd really encourage you to consider the Total Somatics online membership. I'm serving people all around the world, beautiful people that are within the membership, and I help them to look at how we can shift areas within their mindset, their movement patterns, their breathing, their posture, belief systems, where there's thoughts that may be where we overanalyze, we ruminate, and that could be an intergenerational issue. It could be things that we've developed and learned over the time. We can break that loop and create this repatterning of new healthy habits. So within Total Somatics, I look at teaching you clinical somatic movement, mindset principles, mindfulness practices. There's lots more within there. But it's really looking at how we can reduce your pain, improve your posture, increase your mobility, develop mindfulness, create this as a lifestyle shift and change, take a lot of pressure and weight and burden that you may have been holding, even if it's emotional and mental over the years. We can start to lift that when we start to free up tension and tightness that you've been holding and almost shackled or held hostage within your body for so many years. Again, you may have lived for many years just in your head, not noticed what's going on from your neck down. So the last few weeks, can you see how we're starting to build this deeper relationship with ourselves again, and to feel comfortable in our own skin? Because that's a big thing, is not feeling comfortable with our sensations and our feelings and who we are as a beautiful, unique individual. So there's all sorts, again, that I'll share again towards the end. But at this point, I want to now go through the 5 take-home points for week 4. So the heading here in week 4 is mindfulness as a daily ritual, not a task. Okay, so I've got here, the first point is choose one daily somatic ritual. For instance, it could be shoulder release pandiculations before bedtime. So again, there was the free gift that I shared with you, but obviously if you come into the Total Somatics membership, there are lots of clinical somatic movement classes to release shoulder tension, hip issues, lower back pain, neck tension, jaw issues. You name it, it's there. So that's one of the things, is choose a daily somatic ritual. Obviously, if you're in the Total Somatics membership, you have a beautiful array of resources to help you there. The second point is to create a mindfulness anchor. So for instance, it could be if you've got a favorite necklace that you want to hold or you touch, just to check in. It could be your mindfulness anchor is to hold your chest, hold your belly, or maybe it's to just hold your arms and just stroke or smooth them, stroke or sort of soothe them with that self-soothing technique. That could be your technique. Everyone's got a different thing. So look at what you feel is an anchor that just brings you back into that moment. Also, practice a morning or an evening 3-minute body scan. So if you can bring yourself back into that awareness, so it could be a seated scan, it could be a standing scan, it could be lying in bed in the morning and at night, and just going through your body, noticing the level of tension in your jaw, your shoulders, your neck, your breathing, your belly. Is it tight? Is it relaxed? Notice your feet. Notice your bum cheeks. Are they tight? Are they relaxed? Is one softer than the other? All of these sorts of things. Again, if you're in the Total Somatics online membership, you'll see that there's an entire section in module 1 where it's talking, I guide you through lots of scans, lots of body scans, lots of awareness practices, because it's really important that we can check in and notice this. When we can sense and feel something because we're mindful of it, then we can shift and change. We can move, we can release tension, we can change the state of our nervous system. So it all comes back to this awareness at the very beginning. So the 4th point here is to journal how your body felt before and after one daily ritual. And it's really good to do because sometimes we can do the scans before and afterwards, and we can at the time think, oh, that's really nice, that's really good, I feel really, really good. But as the time goes on, because we're feeling better, we forget how far we've come. And when we journal and we write down how we felt before and afterwards, when we look back, we'll go, I forgot that I had that hip pain that was happening, and now I can feel how it's changed. Or I remembered how I felt so anxious just to close my eyes and do a scan for 2 or 3 minutes. I felt so nervous, and now I can do it for 10 minutes. You know, these sorts of things, because it happens so subtle, so gradual, the improvement, you start to shift and change. It's actually really good as a bit of a review to see how far you've come. It's very rewarding, actually. It shows how incredibly amazing your soma is, how much it's constantly wanting to change and improve and repattern. It's incredible. And as I've worked in this area for years, I can tell you it's so rewarding to hear so many wonderful feedback from people. And also for my own personal practice, I know how that feels, and it's very rewarding to see how things change and that improvement is there. And then finally, I've put a point here, light a candle or use calming music as a sensory cue for your rituals. And so just sharing here, for instance, like one of my rituals for calming and regulating my nervous system, apart from all my somatic movement and my breathing and all that sort of thing, is I love to have a soak in the bath with some magnesium salts. I'll put some candles on and just soak in the bath. And you know that magnesium is doing wonders for your muscles and your nervous system, but just seeing the flicker of the candlelight in the room is very calming. It's really calming for my sensory nervous system. But it also could be another ritual, might be that you're sitting out in the garden, you've got a nice cup of tea with you, and you're just watching the birds, and you're just watching how the trees are swaying with the wind. It could be, again, you're walking along somewhere else and you notice another beautiful cue elsewhere. It could be the smell of your flowers, or it could be a plant, or it could be you're in the countryside and you can smell that farmyard smell. There's all sorts of things that can be reassuring and calming. So it depends on what resonates with your nervous system. But can you see what we're doing there is being mindful throughout the day? It's not a task, it's part of our lifestyle. It's a ritual. It's becoming part of who we are as an individual. So again, finally, just to share with you, if you do want to join the Total Somatics membership, if you go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page. And if you go to the Join Now page, you'll see all the details about the membership. And as I said, it's only open for a few days. I will actually be closing the membership doors on Saturday, the 31st of May, 2025. Now, if you're watching this after that event, if you go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page, you may find that it is open. So have a look to see if it is. But if the membership doors are closed, you do have the opportunity to leave your name on the wait list. And the next time I open the membership doors, you are more than welcome to join. So that's what's really special. And also with the Total Somatics membership, whatever the price of the membership is that you come into, it stays that price for the life of your membership. And that's just as a thank you to say, for all your consistency and your commitment to Total Somatics and to your personal practice, that price will stay the same. So it won't change. So if the membership doors open at a later date and the price changes, you will stay locked at that price. And again, there is no lock-in, there's no add-ons or anything like that. You will get all of the content, plus you get my support. So I'm there to actually guide you throughout. So there's lots of opportunities with Q&A sessions to actually get your specifics covered. And again, part of the membership is that you and I can stay connected, so I can cover those questions if you want to ask me privately as well. So there's many ways that we can keep connected. So if you go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page, you'll see all the details, all the benefits that come from being in the Total Somatics membership. And as I said, it'll only be a few days. Then the membership doors will close because I'll be fully focused on serving and taking good care of the members within the membership. So enjoy this week's task. I hope to see you in the Total Somatics membership. It'd be lovely to connect with you. But until next time, all my love, all my very best wishes. Take care. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.